Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. Today I wanted to talk to you about tank maintenance, and I also wanted to show you what I do with my weekly maintenance routine. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if today's your birthday, happy birthday. You can find me most active on my Instagram account at aquascape.art right here. You can also come and visit my website where I have tons of better information as well as my aquascaping portfolio right here. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the fact that maintenance can be a slightly complex topic to discuss, as there's not one size fits all type of process, and instead it actually really depends on so many factors, like the kind of plants that you have, how many fish do you have in it, and what kind of filter do you have, and whether you're using CO2 injection.
20 minutes later.
What kind of lighting do you have and how many hours a day do you have it on? And so all of those things will play a huge part in terms of the type of maintenance that you must have weekly. Even so, there are some guiding principles that I can share with you to make sure that your tank will look in top tip conditions at all times. But most importantly, is to keep your fish and inhabitants happy and healthy. To start with, I'll show you a time lapse of my tank maintenance of the bonsai tank, and followed by the breakdown of some of the core principles that I'm following. And towards the end, if you stick around, I will show you the learning part as well, or some call it the mistakes. So principle number one is about knowing your tank. As the creator, you should know every nooks and cranny of your tank. You should know the lay of the land because you're the mayor.
Yeah, I'm mayor.
So you should know what goes on behind the scenes. I usually like to observe my tank daily, and I take a mental picture of what my tank looks like, so the next day there will be no surprises. Or better still, actually just take a picture of your tank, so that way you'll be able to kind of follow its growth and you'll see the evolution as it progresses. Principle number two is prevention is better than cure. And this is true in most things, right? I'm a true believer that smaller regular checks are better than finding any cure to an issue. Usually it's much harder to get a successful result with the latter. So every morning I would check around all my tanks to see if all the inhabitants are okay and they're doing great and they're still swimming around and being happy, that the filter is still running, that nothing else is out of place. So why am I doing this? By performing regular checks, I can be sure that my aquascape doesn't run into problems or issues of any kind, such as algae. And the fundamental principle to bear in mind is that by looking after your tank will look after you. Wait, how is that even possible? So next principle is the maintenance routine. I highly recommend you dedicate a portion of your time every single week to maintain your aquascape. And try and keep it to exactly the same day or time, and that way you make it into a habit. And the way I see it, it's the same with brushing your teeth routine every single day. And that's the best way I'd put it. I do my maintenance every Saturday or Sunday morning with my coffee. By doing this, you'll be less likely to skip any maintenance session, and that way you can keep your aquascape looking top tip at all times. And don't wait until you see a problem. Take algae for an example. I mean, it's going to be harder to kind of remove algae once it blooms. The longer you leave it, the worse it will get. The next principle is water change. I usually do my water change at around 30 to 50% per week. Now, I know that there are some people out there who said that you must do at least a 50% water change weekly. I would say it really depends on the state of your tank. And if you may have kind of missed a day or two of your maintenance, then perhaps do a little bit more. I usually use aged water mixed with a bit of conditioner and also a few drops of catappa extract. What's aged water? Clean bucket, tap water, let it sit for over 24 hours. And there you have it, you have aged water. The reason why I use aged water is so that chlorine has time to evaporate. And if you're living in a cold climate, please be sure that you have the temperature exactly the same as the temperature inside the tank. And usually perfect water temperature for most tropical aquariums are around 24 degrees to 27 degrees Celsius, or that's around 75 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. I usually have to go through this list in my mind of exactly what I have to do. All the usual tasks like cleaning the aquarium glass and glassware in and out. And that's always the first thing that I would do. For the second task, I would usually do my filter. And some of you may have external filter. I'm using a hang-on filter at the moment, which means that it has easier access for me to clean the sponges and to do my maintenance with the filter to make sure it's always clean. Next task, I would also look at my plants and see whether it actually requires some trimming. Lastly, you can remove any debris or any excess organic waste. So on to the learning part. Utilizing the right tool is essential. And that's definitely something that I've learned the hard way. I would usually use my wave scissors like this. But as you can see in the video, I have been using my regular house scissors. I had retired one of this just days before I shot that video. And because I couldn't wait for my new scissors to arrive, I just went ahead and cut all my carpeted plants and my bonsai tree using normal scissors. Not only that, it was not suitable for use, basically my scissors were blunt. So I ended up pulling on the carpets on some areas, and so there you have it, lesson learned. Always use the right tool. For me, whilst water clarity is a really important aspect of your aquascape's aesthetics, I feel that the water quality is absolutely paramount in keeping the inhabitants healthy and happy. So I would say please ensure that you maintain your tanks regularly. A lot of people ask me around how do I keep my betta so healthy and how are their fins so long and beautiful, and the answer is really simple. It's literally keeping your tanks clean. I would also recommend that you take time to check your water parameter. Maybe just do some kind of a spot check, right? And just see how your tank's parameters are. So yes, bottom line is that preventative maintenance rather than corrective maintenance would be much preferred, and keep a close eye on your livestock and equipment and make sure that little and often is much better than large infrequent maintenance, in my opinion. So yes, let's make it into a habit. Trust me on this. Guys, thank you so much for watching right till the end. I hope that you find this video useful and at least mildly entertaining. If you have any questions, of course, drop it in the comments down below. I would definitely reply to you. Also, I would absolutely love it if you can share, comment, and like my video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It will really help my channel grow. Lastly, I post my content every Saturday, so please be sure to turn on your notifications to be notified of my latest. Thanks again, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye!